I think this moves the dial, but perhaps not in the way that sensation seekers might think and hope. It provides granular detail about Epstein's social and political ecosystem, including emails, arranging meetings, introductions, financial assistance, social contact, almost as if he's trying to buy reputational cleanliness. And it highlights how deeply I think Epstein was embedded into elite networks, even after his 2008 conviction. But I don't know that it tells us much more in terms of criminal liability or public understanding of institutional accountability, or indeed political pressure to cooperate with investigators. I think the underlying elements of that are really just, if you like, they were the lines which have now been coloured in by this massive release of documents. I think it's going to be really difficult to get Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew, to testify before the House Oversight Committee. I think one of the challenges is it's very difficult to compel him to go there. There's no mechanism for that. It's about public shaming. And as we have seen, public shaming seems to have limited impact on Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. I think it does matter in the sense that for the survivors, every disclosure is another step out of the shadows. These files finally shift the gaze away from Epstein's glamour and back to his cruelty. And I think it would be a mistake to let the sort of celebrity orbit distract us. And this story remains fundamentally about exploitation, trauma, and the courage of people who fought hard to be heard. But I do think we haven't yet focused on the other rich and powerful, particularly American men, who could be subpoenaed, who could be asked questions, who could give a public account of what they knew, even if it was entirely innocent. We know that Epstein collected powerful people the way others collect frequent flyer points, but the receipts are now in public, and some might wish they'd traveled less. I mean, Epstein was a spider, and these documents show just how big his web was. But a web isn't a crime until the scene, until the evidence says so. And I think those witnesses who were the workers in the house, the chauffeurs, the bit part players, that's where you get the most probative evidence from.
I think so. I think it shows, like, from the point of view of the palace, they had to do something to separate Andrew from the rest of the family, and the nuclear option was the clearest way of doing it. And, you know, as more comes out, then, you know, you do feel that they have been justified. And it's, yes, and in a sense, the royal family have been, via Andrew, caught up in this. It's sort of, but it is a broader story of how some of the super wealthy sort of spend their downtime. And it's quite sort of, I think to ordinary people, it's just extraordinary, weird and odd, and this hold that Jeffrey Epstein sent to have over very successful people in whatever domain they were. It's sort of, the whole story is very, very weird.
In the last few weeks. And I just wish to reiterate and to reaffirm the statements which have already been made on my behalf by Buckingham Palace. My focus is on my work, and this evening's reception allows me to tell you about just a couple of the initiatives that I have founded and am passionate about, but also just to showcase to you one that is easily transportable.
It shows that the palace were right to do what they did at the end of last year, and to, you know, all those decisions which to some people looked extremely harsh and sort of in a legalistic sense, it showed that it was ultimately taking everything in the round the only option available to the king. The photo of him on all fours is what really strikes out. It's such an odd image, and you knew that it, like, what it shows is that he said he didn't know anything going on or see anything unusual, while then taking part in something that looks very unusual himself. It's sort of so that's the thing. It just adds to the evidence that Andrew was involved in some way, shape, or form with some of the things that Epstein was doing. And there's evidence of being brought women and what have you, and the discussion of that at the very least. So his idea that he didn't have any idea of Jeffrey Epstein being able to bring women around or whatever, as that has been shot to pieces.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
But you earned it.
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned
yes.
it. You earned it, advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think about it, I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people. You're a mathematician. If we walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator? Tier 1.
What's tier 1's the highest and worst?
No,
I'm the lowest.
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you told them, if I told them the devil
100%. Himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?